Aries, for you, the year of 2023 is going to bring higher financial gains and better network circles. Also, such a drastic evolution in your personality and ideals that you will be a completely different person by the end of 2023 than how you entered it. And this will also be possible as you will change your beliefs and standards around relationships and love. Hi, lovely viewers, and welcome back to the channel. We are officially going to be discussing only 2023 astrology related videos now on the channel, and the video in this stream of 2023's yearly horoscope videos for all zodiac signs is going to be for the sign of Aries. If you want your sign to be discussed and analyzed next for the 2023 astrology predictions, then do not forget to comment on this video with your sign's recommendation. Also, before I get into the detailed discussion, I would like to thank all the viewers and subscribers who have supported this journey as we have completed an year of this channel's inception. And to commemorate this event, I have now also started a Patreon page wherein I can get to share more exclusive, viewer-centric and catered content. So please do consider supporting the channel on Patreon as well. There will be extended versions of these videos shared on the Patreon page wherein there's a detailed analysis about how each month of 2023 is going to be turning out for you. So don't miss out on that video as this YouTube version is going to be a little more brief and comprising of only the major highlights of planetary transits that are taking place and which are going to be the most significant for you in the year of 2023. You can primarily check this video for your ascendant sign and secondly for your moon sign as well if you would like to. There are various foundational videos that will help you understand how to check your horoscope for 2023, and these will be linked in the video as a pop-up throughout, which can be accessed by clicking the I button on the upper right hand corner of the video screen. Let's start off the predictions by rounding off the most major planetary transits taking place in the year of 2023. So the beginning of the year starts on a positive note as the planetary ruler of your sign Mars is going to come out of its retrograde motion and be direct in your second house. This proves to be a good omen for your physical and mental well-being since you are now going to feel more invigorated and focused on accumulating your finances in order to be more financially stable and secure. You will also start to bond with your family better and your eating habits will also get much better regulated from this transit. You are also going to feel more communicatively inclined to connect and converse with people. That is where one of the most crucial planetary transits for 2023 comes into play. On the 17th of January, when Saturn moves into the sign of Aquarius through your 11th house. This means that during this transit period of Saturn, you will get the manifestation of your higher financial gains and expanded network circle. 11th house is the house of your wish fulfillment, which means that you will be rewarded for all the hard work that you have undertaken during the transit of Saturn through Capricorn. This transit of Saturn is the best time to dedicate yourself to giving back to your communities and indulge in something philanthropic, however big or small, is possible for you. To help the strata of the society who are underprivileged to share your abundant resources with them. The transit of Saturn will get you the recognition for your good deeds and also help you to connect with a wider audience or friend circle through pursuing such passion projects. You can also possibly start to experience a sort of cleansing of your network circle wherein you will start to lose out on people who are not aligned with your beliefs and philosophies, and possibly you will also start to connect more with a mature crowd. Saturn from your 11th house puts its aspects on firstly the first house by its third aspect, secondly on the fifth house with its seventh aspect, and lastly the eighth house with its 10th aspect. So when Saturn puts its third aspect onto your first house of self and the sign of Aries, then what this signifies is that you are going to have a major impact of the people who you surround yourself with now on your whole personality and self-identity. Hence, be careful of who you associate with at this time because they will hold immaculate power to influence you. This also shows that you are going to learn hard lessons about yourself and how others view you or perceive you by interacting with more matured and evolved crowd than usual. You are being asked to put in the hard work to really evolve into a newer and better version of yourself, and that comes with not only being self centered but also learning the power of giving back and community. Then, when Saturn puts its seventh aspect onto your fifth house, this means that you will have to learn how to bridge the gap and equalize your efforts between your friends and romantic partners, and also how to balance your investment portfolio to get sustained and exponential gains. You will also possibly be able to meet with people who change your views about yourself. You can also meet with someone through your extended group of friends and acquaintances who you can develop romantic feelings for. You are also, most importantly, being asked by this aspect to strike a balance between tending to your own self interests and being considerate of your community and doing acts for the good of the collective. Lastly, when Saturn puts its 10th aspect onto your 8th house, it means that for you during this period, the actualization of manifestation and catalyzing higher financial income and larger network circle can also have an effect on your career prospects, wherein you have drastic changes or transformations that can lead you to become a part of a secret club of privileged people and their hidden knowledge that can help you gain more money and connections. But you must remember not to get swept up in the mirage and give back to the people who might not have the same resources as you. As the next month of February rolls in and the sun transits into the sign of Aquarius and hence gets conjunct the Saturn, this can be a troublesome transit as Saturn and Sun are enemy planets in astrology, leading to a tussle between your passions and responsibilities. You can feel quite restricted and weighed down by responsibilities and the voices of people around you at this point. This can lead you to feel unsure about yourself and the beliefs that you hold. This can be exclusively also in relation to how you handle and multiply your financials. And as Mercury moves into Aquarius and your 11th house as well, then the challenges in relation to the narratives being forced on you now can make you communicatively lag in the potential of expressing and ideating your ideas regarding your finances and friends. This can lead to friction between you and your network circle. Venus then moves into your 12th house in Pisces, and you can start to feel disconnected with the greed to accumulate money and rather want to donate or part with your resources for the betterment of others. You will also want to disassociate from others and indulge in isolating as a coping mechanism to run away from your problems for a while. April is going to be another one of the most pivotal months for you, wherein Jupiter will move into the sign of Aries and your first house. This is generally a really positive omen for how luck and benevolence will be bestowed on you by the most benefic planet in astrology. But this Jupiter will also get conjunct Rahu, which is already transiting through the sign of Aries in your first house, forming something called a Guru Chandal Yoga in astrology. What this means is that you are now going to question and adopt very differing and eclectic ideals and philosophies, especially but not restricted to your religious, spiritual, or philosophical ideals and beliefs. And this is going to pave the way for how you want your personality to be perceived by others. This is going to be a time wherein the planet of expansion, that is Jupiter, and the planet of obsession, that is Rahu, is going to give you an inexplainable want of working on yourself and adopting guidance from gurus or mentors to help you in some soul searching. Jupiter from your first house puts its third aspect onto firstly the fifth house with its fifth aspect, secondly the seventh house with its seventh aspect, and lastly the ninth house with its ninth aspect. When Jupiter puts its fifth aspect onto the fifth house, uh, it means that you will want to indulge in studying of material on religious, spiritual, or philosophical beliefs, and you will also adopt very unconventional approaches to having these ideals shape your personality. You will also feel a magnification of your romantic interests, wherein you might attract or be attracted to the kind of people who are not your usual type, and your dating philosophy can also change during this period. If you want children, then this can also be a possible good time for you to conceive them. And if you already have kids, then your relationship with them will also get better, wherein they will look up to you as a mentor. You can also adopt unconventional and eclectic investment strategies for putting your money into instruments of speculative gains, like crypto or the stock market. You also can be quite inclined to go deeper into soul searching and finding out the karmic knots in relation to your birth. Next, Jupiter puts its seventh aspect onto the seventh house and also the transiting Ketu until the 30th of October. This can show that the propensity to meet the kind of partner, be it romantic or business partner, that feels like you know them from a previous life. It will feel like deja vu, wherein you will instantly bond and connect with this person, but this can be a very karmic connection for you, set in your path of evolution as a test. You will feel like you are being pulled into directions of whether you should focus on your self evolution or should you give into bonding with this magnificent person unlike any that you have ever been with before. Lastly, Jupiter puts its ninth aspect onto your ninth house, which means that you can now want to pursue higher educational courses in places of different cultural backgrounds than the one that you were born in. And this can also signify that you could suddenly stop or change the course that you have already undertaken because your newer development of interests and how you want your education to become an extension of your personality and perception as well. You can also have better relations with your father during this time period. You can also discover quite an unusual or just simply different than the usual mentors or gurus during this time. But don't blindly put your trust at this time though. You can be deceived if you are not careful or thorough in your decision making process. Also during April, there will be a combined effect of Sun and Jupiter and Rahu in your first house, which will make you feel more self assured and true to yourself. Yet you will still feel like your evolution or self discovery journey is being misinterpreted as Mercury will turn retrograde in your first house. From the month of July onwards, there are going to be very significant or pivotal changes taking place wherein your sign's planetary ruler Mars transits into Leo and gets a seventh aspect from the retrograde Saturn, and also subsequently transiting Venus in Leo will also get this aspect from retrograde Saturn. But not just this, will be impacting the planets in the sign of Leo in July, as Jupiter in Aries will also be aspecting Mars and Venus by its fifth aspect. What this means is that you are now going to feel restricted when it comes to expressing your individuality and personality, as you will get bogged down by other people's influence and structure. You will energetically want to indulge in self expression, yet, because of the surrounding group of people around you, will have you reconsider your talents and identity. You will also have to be careful that during this time period, how you are managing your money and how others' opinions are influencing your own investment into riskier instruments. And while Saturn and Mercury transit through Cancer and your fourth house, this can mean that this is the time that can also prove to be extremely emotionally taxing and confusing, causing you to seek emotional comfort from your family. In August, your sign's lord Mars now moves into Virgo and your sixth house, showing that you can have unlikely opponents and enemies come up during this time. But you will also, from the sheer force of your determination and specificity, be able to conquer over the opponents through your astute analysis. Though the planet of love and pleasure Venus goes retrograde in your fourth house, showing that The kind of support and affection that you were previously relying on your family for starts to become an unmet expectation, and hence you start to drift away from the family structure and try to rely more so on your own self and possibly on someone who you will have a romantic connection with, as Sun and Mercury transit in Leo through your fifth house, where it gets a seventh aspect from the retrograde Saturn and a fifth aspect from Jupiter, showing that you are going to have a breakthrough of sorts in relation to how you are going to want to indulge in self exploration and self actualization of your creative pursuits, and also how you want to go about making use of your financial gains for having fun and indulging in romantic pursuits. You will become defensive about the independence of your personality at this point and also about your choice of a romantic partner. This can lead to tussle with your network circle as they might feel you are too harsh or combative at this point. In September comes another retrograde motion onset with Jupiter going retrograde in the sign of Aries in your first house. This again is a time of major reflection wherein you are trying to take a step back and evaluating how you are demonstrating your personality, how your overall appearance and health is like, how are your educational pursuits that you have undertaken, and this is also a time of rethinking what kind of relationships, be it the business or romantic ones, that you have indulged in, and how you are formulating your religious or spiritual or philosophical beliefs in the absence of others' influence. Sun will transit through your sixth house, showing the possibility of having all this pressure overwhelm you and affect your well being too. You can run into legal disputes at this time or simply just have people opposing you. The ongoing retrograde transit of Venus in Cancer and the retrograde Mercury in Leo will cause further issues in relation to identifying with your family and being able to effectively communicate with about your interests, finances, and education with them. Pivotal planetary shift takes place in this month of October when the nodes of the moon, that is Rahu and Ketu, change their signs for the next 18-month period at the precipice of the month on the 30th of October, wherein your life will now revolve within the parameters and significations presented within the Pisces Virgo signs, affecting your 12th and 6th house axis. What this means for you is that as Rahu enters the sign of Pisces, it will make you go even further and deeper into your self explorative journey on the basis of the principles of spirituality. You will start to want to cut down on the amount of people who you are surrounded by, and will also want to have a smaller but tighter network circle. You will also be inclined to take a more escapist approach to your issues by wanting to disassociate or run away from them. This is also a time wherein you will get quite prophetic and vivid dreams that push you further along your journey of spirituality and also can suffer from some level of insomnia. You can also have higher levels of expenses and losses financially during this period. You also can take or indulge into long distance travels abroad. On the other hand, when Ketu transits through the sign of Virgo and your sixth house, then this can show that you will want to separate yourself from the toxic culture of overworking and perfection during this period and go deeper into the self healing concepts. You will find it hard or just not a preference to want to stick to a particular routine. Rather, you will want to do things on a more leisurely pace. You will want to be as away from disputes as you possibly can and could also run into some health issues that could be hard to detect and cure, hence promoting hospital visits. But do not worry, it may necessarily not be a serious thing, and that will depend and be confirmed only on checking your individual birth chart. This month is also a period wherein you will re-evaluate and reduce the amount of relationships you have, and this can especially be in terms of your romantic partnerships, as Sun transits in Libra and gets debilitated, as well as Venus becomes direct, yet comes into the direct aspect of retrograde Saturn and Jupiter, causing further deterioration of relationships during this time, which is further exacerbated by the fact that Sun and Mercury will be conjunct with Ketu until it moves into Virgo. And as we have seen in 2022, how devastating this kind of planetary conjunction can be for relationships, hence you will have to be realistic about the balance of dynamics between your self-interests and the quality of your romantic relationships. All these detailed discussions about all planetary transits taking place in 2023 and how these planetary energies will be impacting you, I come to the end of this video. On the 2023 yearly forecast or horoscope for the sign of Aries. If you did appreciate the amount of insight and input that went into bringing you all this information about your next year, then please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. I will see you soon with the next video. Until then, take care you all.